Today I'm going to be doing the January TBR. And this is Jack. Say hello. Hello. Okay, so for this month, I got a lot of books for Christmas, but I've read most of them already. But the only one I haven't read, which was a Christmas gift that I'm really, really looking forward to, is this massive one. Okay, so this is Romantic Outlaws, The Extraordinary Lives of Mary Wollstonecraft and Mary Shelley by Charlotte Gordon. And from what I know, she did a ton of research and reinvents their lives. So Mary Wollstonecraft is the mother of Mary Shelley. And Mary Shelley is one of my all-time favorite writers, if not my favorite writer, because Frankenstein is one of my all-time favorite books. It gets me every time. So I'm really excited to read it, but it's quite long. So over Christmas, when I did all of my reading, this one somehow ended up last just because of how big it is. So I think it will probably take a while. Yeah, okay, so that's number one. Number two for this month is Some Prefer Nettles by Tanizaki. Has been on my shelf for a long time. I just haven't read it because it's a family saga. Normally I don't like family sagas, but Tanizaki is just such an amazing writer. And I'm just going to read you the back of the book, and then you can think what you want from that. So this is just a quote about Japanese people, Oriental people. There may be some who argue that if beauty has to hide its weak points in the dark, it is not beauty at all. But Orientals find beauty not only in the thing itself, but in the pattern of shadows, the light and the darkness, which that thing produces. I would call back, at least for literature, this world of shadows that we are losing. In the mansion called literature, I would have the eaves deep and the walls dark. I would push back into the shadows the things that come forward too clearly. I would strip away the useless decorations. So, like, if that doesn't let you know how amazing his writing is going to be, then, I mean, what are you reading? Yeah, he's a really amazing writer. He's one of my favorite Japanese authors. And I really love Japanese authors. Okay, so next, number three. Let's see. Okay, so number three has been recommended to me by so many people, and I know it's probably going to be pretty sad due to the subject, but number three is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. So I believe it follows a young girl, and she's blind, and she lives in Paris, and her father, who's a locksmith, builds her a miniature neighborhood out of wood and glue and whatnot, so she can memorize her way around the city. But then Nazis invade Paris, and it follows her story as she moves with her father and lives in a new city. And then it also follows the story of a little boy called Werner, who is brilliant, and he's picked up by Hitler Youth. And I can only imagine the way that their story will weave together, but I'm expecting that I will cry a lot. Yes, so I'm very looking forward to this. It was recommended to me by a lot of people and given to me as a gift. Okay, great. So number four. Let's see. Okay, so number four is The Bridge by Karen Kingsbury, and it is a romance, and it's very short. Well, not short, but I call these book bonbons, these type of book bonbons, because I read them extremely quickly. So I'll probably read this in about 2 hours, but it just happened to be a very serendipitous moment, because on the plane ride back from visiting my family, there was a woman on the plane, and she was trying to get rid of her book because she had just finished. And normally I wouldn't just take a book if I didn't like it, or if I didn't think I was going to read it. But one, how can you let her just throw away a book? I mean, you can't. And two, once I read the back of it, then I was like, okay, I'll probably really like it. So this is actually about a bookstore, that somehow brings the lives of people together. And the bookstore's name is The Bridge. So I'm looking forward to this, but it will be a very quick read, and it will probably go into my pile of bonbon books, which is like little sweet things. Okay. So next up are two books that my professor in university sent me for Christmas gifts. So they're some of the books she's read recently that she really liked. So I'm looking forward to reading them. So number one is The Little Paris Bookshop by Nina George. So I don't know about this actually. I don't know at all. So I will just read you the little inscription on the back. Monsieur Perdue is a literary apothecary. From his floating bookstore in a barge on the Seine, he prescribes novels for the hardships of life. Using his intuitive feel for the exact book a reader needs, Perdue mends broken hearts and souls. The only person he can't seem to heal is himself. He is still haunted by heartbreak after his great love disappeared. She left him with only a letter that he has never opened. Why? After Perdue is finally tempted to read the letter, he hauls anchor and departs on a mission to the south of France, hoping to make peace with his loss and discover the end of the story. He dispenses his books and his wisdom along the way, showing that the literary world can take the human soul on a journey to heal itself. I think that this is going to be very heartwarming and a very quick read for me. Maybe a bonbon book, I don't know. But usually bonbon books for me are quick, easy reads and not such dense word choices. So I really love words, and I keep a journal full of words I don't know when I don't know if you can see. Can you see? Yeah, I keep a journal of words I don't know so that I can remember them, what book they came from, so I know the context. And so this may or may not be a bonbon book, I'm not sure. But I think it's going to be really cute, and of course it has to do with books, which obviously I love. Okay, so the next one that my professor sent me is Love in Lowercase by Francesc Miralles. Oh, I'm really sorry if that's not how you say your name. But this is quite cute. It's about a linguistics lecturer and a cat. He's quite lonely, but a cat suddenly shows up in his apartment, and he obviously can't get rid of the cat, and it's quite an adorable little fiend basically. And it introduces him to other people, and somehow his life becomes less lonely, and I think it's just about slowly coming out of yourself if you have problems interacting with people and, having a full life, I guess. So I'm really looking forward to it. It also might be a bonbon read, or not, because he is a linguistics professor, so I'm hoping for some really nice language, some new words I don't know, or just some beautiful phrases. So yeah, I hope that it is great. And I know that in this book, he also talks a lot about Hermann Hesse's novel, Demian. Demian? I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's also been on my shelf forever. I'm a huge Hesse fan. One of my all-time favorite books is Hesse's Narcissus and Goldmund, which is absolutely beautiful. So also on my list to read this month is Demian by Hermann Hesse. So I've never read it yet. It's always been on my shelf. I've read a lot of his other ones, Siddhartha, Narcissus and Goldmund, Steppenwolf, and they are all brilliant. I love Hesse. He is absolutely amazing. One of my favorite authors of all time. So I will just read you the little blurb. It says, the passionate account of a young man's growing awareness of his own identity, of his involvement in the secret and dangerous world of petty crime, and how, influenced by a precocious schoolmate, he rebels against convention and discovers not only the great joy of independence, but his own new powers for good and evil. So, I am so looking forward to this book. He always writes words I don't know, phrases I've never thought of. He just writes in a way that's too cool. I will never be able to write like that, ever. Someone that I would equate Hesse to in writing style, although not themes, is Kenzaburo Oe. I don't know if you've ever read him. He wrote A Silent Cry and a personal matter. He's a Japanese writer. And just there's something about how they write that is so lyrical, so beautiful. And usually Hesse deals with East versus West, love versus duty, religion versus like non-religion, whereas O writes about completely other things. But I am so looking forward to this novel. I think it's going to be brilliant. So how many is that? Let's see. That is... Let's see. Okay, so this month I'm going to shoot for 7 books. And I know that it might seem too little depending if you read a lot more, or too many depending on what you think, but I think that most of these here will be quite quick reads. Oh, not Demian. Probably these up here will be quite quick reads for me, and then these 2 will obviously take a long time. I suspect this one will take a long time. It's very dense and the words are very small. Not to mention I'll be totally engrossed by the actual history of them. Mary Wollstonecraft was a leading feminist of her time, and then her daughter wrote Frankenstein, which is like just mind-blowing. So yeah, if you didn't know that a woman wrote Frankenstein, she did, and she's awesome, and her name is Mary Shelley. So, if you have any questions about these books, then please check out the rest of my videos this month. Or if you just have any other comments down below, please leave them, recommendations or what you think, if you didn't know that Frankenstein was written by a woman. And so, yeah, with that, I'll just say bye! See you next time. And thanks for watching. And I'm glad you like books as much as I do. See you!